And we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm joined by Mutt-Man, the creator of Hero. We're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit while people join up. Mutt-Man, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing great. We launched Hero yesterday, and we had some backers come in and get us started off right. So I'm really happy. Things are going really good.
That's awesome news, man. That's awesome news.
Plus, I got the kids in bed tonight, so they didn't throw a big fit. So I'm doing okay.
That's amazing, right? When you can get the
Right?
kids to, you can get
Yeah.
the kids to cooperate, lay
Oh,
down.
it's a miracle. I think it might have been because they were also tired from the day or something like that. But yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
I got out and voted today and everything. So good day.
That's amazing, amazing. Like, people are slowly trickling in.
Yeah, we got time, man. Just let them trickle in.
I guess slowly trickling in. Yeah. So
You want me to
so
help
you
you watch the chat tonight, or you got that covered, or what?
I watch it if you want to. You can watch as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna want to ask you some questions.
Yeah,
And this is a pretty late. I don't know if you've seen any of my other streams.
yeah, I've watched a
I'm
couple.
pretty
Yeah,
late. Well, you know my format. I'm really laid back.
yeah.
Try to make it all about you. You know, kind of like just give you the platform to speak about your project. In depth, and so people can share in the enthusiasm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that too. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh man, look, man, we're here. The way I look at it is this, right? We're here as a community, and the only way the community gets stronger is if we help one another out.
Yeah,
And if we can't help one another out, then the community is going to crumble. It's,
yeah.
it's like the old motto: "You're only as strong as your weakest link." And even if I can just interview you and give you a platform to talk about your book, even on my small spectrum of the world, then just at least something.
No, it's great, and I mean, like, what's funny is I think that a lot of times these, just these sort of like impromptu streams. I mean, we had this scheduled since yesterday, I think, but
Right.
like they're really great. I mean, just getting on and talking about stuff, getting a little bit of time with somebody just to, flesh out what their project is all about, find out what's behind the creativity and, what's behind the storyline and all that. I mean, that just gives people a really great opportunity to get to know you and get to know what it is you're all about. And that's what people want to know before they spend their money on something.
Indeed, they just told me that the IndieGoGo link I put in the description is not working, so I'm putting the
Oh man.
the link in the chat, and I will definitely fix that before the day is out.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
definitely want people to be able to link in.
if you don't mind, could you also put my YouTube channel in there? Because I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel too,
I
and
didn't put it in there.
put some content. I'm not looking at it. You may
Show
have.
more. I did. I put your YouTube channel.
Okay,
I
cool.
put your Twitter, and not only that, your when this stream is done at the end, your YouTube channel will flash so people can link on it.
Oh,
I do
cool.
full service here, man. Like whoever is on my channel, if people watch it all the way to the end, I will put a link to their channel at the end screen,
Yeah.
and they'll be able to click on. Excuse me, they'll be able to click on it and follow you all there. I also try to put as much of the information in the description. I try to make it easy for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, that's like I said before, that's what we're here for. We're here to help one another,
Yeah.
and try to build a community as best as we can. All right, so we got 4 people watching. That's awesome.
Cool.
Let's go ahead and get started. The first question, which is my question as well. Talk to me about Hero, man. What is it about? Give me the hype man tour. You don't have to mince words. Go as long and as far as you want to.
Well, we got a lot of writing on it, but I could probably just break it down pretty quick. Here's the pitch. Hero is a story about the power of sacrifice, and we're specifically focusing on sacrifice of servicemen and women in the military. Dan and I are both people that feel very strongly that the people who serve in military are of the highest regard, and that they should be held up as heroes for giving their time, service, and sometimes even their life to protect our freedoms. So we wanted to write this story to kind of reflect that feeling. So it's about the power of sacrifice, but it's also about an awesome, fun comic book story. You know, like it's fun. And that's the main thing that we need right now. We need fun comics. When I was coming up in the 80s and 90s, that's all comics were. They were extreme. They were out there. You know, everything from the colors to the art styles to the printing. It was just a phenomenal time for comics. And then we kind of got serious as a culture, and we started taking ourselves a little bit too seriously, I think. And our comics devolved into, not all our comics, you know, but a lot of comics devolved into a more serious conversation about culture. And that's where I started to lose my interest in comics. And so did Dan. And that's why we wanted to kind of come back to something that was just, you know, balls to the wall fun, big guns, military action, super soldiers, zombies. This is what this comic book is about. It's called Blood of Patriots because it's from that quote from Thomas Jefferson: "The tree of liberty has to be watered from time to time with the blood of patriots and of tyrants." You know, the story that we're telling is about people who've sacrificed their lives to protect freedom. And the setting of the story, we are in World War III, and it's against Russia. And this idea comes from just, you know, good 80s movies, throwback to good 80s movies where America was always against Russia, whether it was Rocky IV or, you know, any handful of, you know, action movies where the bad guy was Russian.
Right.
I love that trope. I think that's a fun trope. And so we have a war on, and it's a war against, it's a war of America versus Russia and China. And if you watch the promo on our, the little video promo on our IndieGoGo page, you'll see some cool, you know, imagery that kind of sets the whole thing up.
Right.
So then what happens is, well, I don't know how much you want me to get into. You want me to go ahead and just kind of
whatever you feel you need to get into to sell your book. I mean, this
Dude,
is your time.
I could talk about it all night. I don't want to take up all the oxygen, you know.
No, brother. This is, like I said, you go in as deep as you want. You go into as deep waters as you want to go. Now, if you can swim back to shore, that's on you. You know,
that's the problem, man. I get way out into my imagination. It's hard to find my way back. But yeah, no. So you know, in the setting of war, what happens is America starts to run out of troops. We're running out of people. Russia has the same problem. Both countries are not using the nuclear option because both countries want a world to control after the war is over with. So it's a land war. And Russia, just by virtue of having more land, is winning. They're winning in terrain. They're winning with the troops, and they're winning with technology. So with biotechnology. So what happens is the U.S. government goes over and it extracts, captures Russia's #1 biotech scientist, and that's Dr. Krupin, and he is the main guy who is starting out in our book. So Dr. Krupin works with this other guy, and his name is Dr. Perez, and Dr. Perez is a artificial intelligence scientist, and he is. The two of them create something that is sort of miraculous. Krupin creates this Krupin formula, and they both work together to create a robot called Hero. And Hero stands for Hardware Integrated Reanimation Ordinance. And basically that's Army speak for an android or robot that crawls up onto the back of a dead soldier, merges with that dead soldier, and reanimates that body into a new living weapon, a super soldier. So it's kind of like, you think about it like it's kind of like WALL-E, meets Frankenstein meets Captain America. So Hero is kind of this unit, right, that is part robotics and part a Frankenstein creature. But because of the AI is so good, he has basically combat strategy on tap as fast as digital action can handle it. And so weapons training, there's no training necessary. You basically download whatever you want this guy to do into the Hero, and it's there.
Nice.
So the story progresses through that way, but then here's the twist that becomes interesting throughout our story. As the Hero unit, as the robot merges with the corpse, it actually starts to retrieve data from the brain.
Right.
And so that creates a situation where the AI in the robotics begins to become self-aware. And so now you got a situation where you've got this little robot who starts to become a person with personality. And what we're going to do with that is that's going to give us a story element where we can tell a very interesting story about humanity through a little robot. Because as he absorbs the humanity from the host corpse, he begins to learn what it means to be human and what it means to sacrifice. And there's lots of little things like that we're going to be able to explore throughout the story. It's going to keep it really interesting. So as different as Hero merges with different corpses, corpsi. I'm not sure what the plural is of corpse.
Got me on that one, bro.
As he begins to merge with more and more, he gets more and more humanity. He gets a wider range of perception, wisdom, belief, faith, those kinds of things, until the little robot becomes more human than most humans, if that makes sense.
Right.
So we're going to cram all that into 48 pages, and we've got a great villain. Our villain's name is Volk. Hey, can I show you some pictures while I'm talking about this stuff?
We can. I was going to go to your IndieGoGo page, or if you wanna screen share, more than likely I'll put it on you and you can screen share away.
Yeah, I'm kind of ready for that. If you don't mind, I can definitely drive.
Hey, knock yourself out.
All right.
It's locked on you, and when you're ready to screen share and talk, man, go to it. And then, of course, when you're ready to go over your IndieGoGo page and all that perks, just roll right on in.
All right, cool. Well, I'm going to use my IndieGoGo page because all of the talking points will come through there.
Nice.
All right, give me just a second here.
No problem. All right. So the new link that I put in the chat that works. That's awesome.
All right, can you see all this?
Yes, we're there at the IndieGoGo page, ladies and gentlemen.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So let's go here first. I'll just hit you with this. This is Dr. Crouppen up here. He's kind of our mad scientist type guy. But Dr. Crouppen, he's a good guy. Like, he's a really good guy. And he has a reason. He's got a family reason to make this thing work. So he is compelled to create this thing. It's not like the U.S. has him against his will. He is here helping and doing what he can to end this war because he has to, for personal reasons and for broad reasons. But as you can see, this little robot unit right here on the screen, it merges with this dead soldier, and this is kind of a dramatized version of that because it's a cover image, but it merges with the soldier and becomes Hero. And so you can see what it looks like right here on our action scene page as Hero kind of comes in. He kind of starts to merge with this dead corpse, and then boom, it comes to life and becomes this super soldier, hulked out zombie Frankenstein type creature. And then basically he begins to just massacre the enemy. So this is going to be all out action in this comic. I mean, we're going to have lots of good story, but we have 48 pages, and I'm not going to do 48 pages of talking heads. I'm going to do 48 pages of, you know, pure action is what I'd like to do. So yeah, so that's it. Before I get too much further, I did want to mention this. We have a 0 issue. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but you can get our 0 issue absolutely free. You don't have to buy anything. We're just going to give this away because we believe our story will catch you and that you will want to see what happens in the big 48-page book. So this is our free 0 issue. So go grab it, get on our IndieGoGo page, click that link, and go check it out. This little 0 issue will set up our story, and it will put you right into the place where we're going to kick our 48-page story off. So there's Dr. Crouppen. This is our General Marsh, and he is yelling at Crouppen because he's behind schedule. And he's yelling at Dr. Perez because he is not doing what he's supposed to do. And so here they are with sort of this beta version of Hero. This is not Hero. This is a different version. And kind of like the first one.
Right.
And it doesn't work. So they put this guy and they merge it down. They do what's called a neural bridge. And so basically that just forms the robotics and the Crouppen formula with the dead body.
Right.
And that's kind of like the Frankenstein moment, right? So then he starts to come alive here, where you can see he's kind of starting to get up. He's starting to move. And then the question, what am I? I like this philosophical question because, you know, basically it's a great Frankenstein story. It's a great zombie story, right?
Right.
This person who was human, who had a soul, is now a thing. He's a weapon. And
excuse me for 1 second.
Sure.
Is Macho Dan your writer? Because he's on.
Oh yeah. That's Macho Dano. That's my writer.
If you want to send him the link, apparently he's made time. I just wanted to interrupt to let you know that just in case. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah, ask him in the chat if he wants to jump on. Did he want to?
Hey, Macho Dan, do you want to jump on onto the stream since you're part of the team? And it's probably going to be a little delay. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm probably going to take it off the screen share so you don't, you know, just in case. Let me see. It's probably faster if I type it up and ask them. And I'm sorry for the delay. Now I done created some dead space.
No problem, man. No problem. Yeah, if you want to get Macho in here, that guy's a barrel of monkeys. Just get him in here. He's fun.
I don't have him on my Twitter, so that's why I said, you know, if he want, I'm asking him right now. So all I know is that he retweeted it, and so I kind of figured he might be part of the team.
Yeah,
just took a guesstimate.
Yeah.
So while we're at it, while Macho Dan is figuring life out, I'm gonna put it back on you and take it away, sir.
All right. Yeah. So basically, you know, this question of what am I, it causes this rage moment, and this creature begins to basically fight back against the programming and tries to escape. So
Macho Dan, excuse me, says you can DM him the link and he'll try to get on.
Can we do that real quick?
Yeah, let me take it off of you and let me talk so it doesn't go on you. Let me lock it on me real quick so we don't accidentally put any information out. Yeah. So I got a question for you. Anything that starts developing or taking in a lot of data has a tendency to develop multiple personality disorders. So is this a part of the flow with the hero? Is this something that we're going to touch on?
Yeah. So like one thing that we've talked about that would be a lot of fun would be if Hero starts to show the mannerisms of the people that he's connected with. And so if one person was a man, another person was a woman, another person was, you know, a black guy, another one was Hispanic guy, you know, like start to really like get a lot of sort of melded culture, you know what I mean? Like a lot of melded personalities into one.
Yeah,
And
and that so yeah, that's just like an interesting thing because I know anytime they've done anything like this, all those personalities within. I don't know if you've ever watched like Black Mirror on Netflix.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's definitely
That
something I'm interested in.
some of the shows touch on something like this, and it shows like what could happen with all the fragmented memories and all the fragmented pieces going into one area.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of wondering about that. Don't worry about it, Macho Dan. It's all good, man. It's an impromptu show and we do what we do. And if you're part of the team, we'd love to have you on if you can make it. Um, did you already send the link out? Yep,
Yeah,
looks like you did.
yeah.
All right. And now Mutt-Man is going to go back to talking about his story. Sorry for an interruption, ladies and gentlemen.
No problem, man. No, Dan always messes things up. That's what he's good at. So, I'm used to that. He'll always come into situations and goof things up. So I like to give him a hard time. No, but so, so yeah, this thing tries to escape and then they have to shut it down with the EMP blast. And then you kind of get into some of the characterization here with our group, our cast. They're explaining a lot of stuff here. This is a lot of talking head stuff, so we can get this stuff situated and established so that in the 48-page issue that you're going to buy into, you get action and fun, right? So we're just doing this is like a 16-pager that just quickly helps you understand why this doesn't work and what they're doing. And then at the end, the cliffhanger is, here's Hero. And you see Dr. Crouppen, and this is Boone right here who helps him out. They have this little side project going on that the government doesn't know about. And this is where Hero comes from. So
okay, go ahead.
Well, yeah, go ahead. That's a good time for a question. Jump in.
No. So this is basically your Ash Cannon on digits.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So Chad Middleton has a question. What's your inspiration for this comic? It reminds me of Robocop, Rogue Trooper, Ghost in the Shell. I guess he meant and Ghost in the Shell.
Well, this is a good time. Dan just jumped in, so this is a good one for him to start answering because he's.
How we doing?
Hey, good. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for making space for me over here.
Hey, dude, man, if I get the more people from the project I can get on, and the more enthusiasm y'all can drum up for your project, the better it is for you guys. I just get the platform out and try to give y'all some space. I know that when you go to bigger channels, the space is limited. You might get like 15, 20 minutes,
Right.
But if I give you an hour to talk your little hearts out, and maybe show the people how enthused you are about this project, it might help out some. And so you jumped in right on time, and the question is directed at you. And the question was, what's your inspiration for this comic? It reminds me of Robocop, Rogue Trooper, and Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. So none of those were the ultimate inspiration. Honestly, the inspiration came from a really weird dream. Like, I don't know what I had before I went to sleep that night. It was probably like donuts or something strange, and it just like messed my brain up. But I had this dream, and it was of these robots, or this like, it was kind of like a that if you're a Star Wars fan, in Empire, the little the droid that's floating around on Hoth, that kind of, he has like, it looks like he has upside down antennas and he has a little arm sticking out. Anyway, I was imagining one of these droids holding up a dead body, and just like, it was pretending to be it was pretending to be a human because it had this body. Like, it wanted to be human so bad. Right. And it was, and that's probably less descriptive than when I was able to tell Jason that night when we talked about it. But from that, it kind of streamed this whole concept, and we've chipped away at it until, like, it started as this big block of marble, and we've chipped away at it till it's this thing now. It's this piece of art that we're super pumped about launching. So that's kind of where it came from. And the big twist, and Jason was just talking about a second ago, but the thing that we think kind of sets it apart from Robocop or Rogue Trooper or Ghost in the Shell is that it, like, the residue from those humans that it connects with, like the the part of the soul that doesn't leave the body, or the whatever makes a human special when they're alive. Like Hero absorbs some of that, and it's kind of neat to explore like how people could influence this this little robot dude to have feelings and emotions, and how it can, you know, choose right from wrong, and you know, good and evil and stuff like that. So
yeah, plus, you know, like Reanimation is it's as old as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and it's a little bit before that actually. And so the concept has been around in science fiction and horror for, you know, many generations now. Where this is a little different and twisted is that we're kind of putting it into the context of war, and we're putting it into the context of American values, and also the person, the human being, doesn't last more than 3 days, I think, is what we've established, Dan.
Yeah.
So what will happen is, like, once a person is reanimated, they only have a limited amount of time to do as much damage to the enemy as possible. And then they have a moment where they can, you know, possibly download some memories or download some special thoughts that they want to leave behind for their loved ones. So the person, the human being, the flesh and blood, actually will pass away a second time. But before they pass away that second time, they will have a second opportunity to give their life for the second time to their country.
Yeah, and it's kind of like they're ready the second time. Like they get a second chance to say goodbye, almost, and it's as if they get they get that chance to say goodbye, but it gives them another chance to be a hero in a new way. So it's kind of cool. I think it's a cool concept.
Yeah, the question is, like, if you had the opportunity, if you're a soldier and you're on the battlefield and you go down, but you had the opportunity to be resurrected and be as powerful as like a Captain America, you know, and do major damage to the enemy, I think most soldiers would take that opportunity, even though it would mean that they would eventually have to die a second time. I think that the bravery of these people is so powerful that they would actually go and do it again. If they go down in a battle, they're dead. If they have the opportunity to be resurrected and just kick some major enemy butt, and then, you know, go out a second time, but this time all their memories, all their feelings can be downloaded through Hero and sent in a visual format to their loved ones. I just think that's a really neat and interesting thing to explore.
So Abe is saying that there's a movie that kind of reminds him of the storyline called Vindicator. He doesn't know for sure, but he does like the story and the artwork. Theologically speaking, what happens to the remnant of that soul? Does it get absorbed into the hero?
Well, that'll probably be up to the reader to establish how they feel about that. I don't think we're necessarily going to explore what happens to the soul after death. The soul, in my opinion, and this is my opinion,
right?
The soul is intrinsically attached to the person, to the body, right? So the soul would do whatever the soul does after death, right? In my belief, I'm a Christian, so in my belief, it's either heaven or hell. Right. There's a destination once that person dies. But what we're exploring is the humanity, the sort of the residue of humanity that's left in the brain, in the body, in the brain, right?
Right.
So maybe, if your theological belief is that the soul is the personality and the sort of brightness and everything that's in us, right? We're saying that part of that remains. There's a residue of that. There's a impression of that which can be digitized and turned into data.
Right. Sounds cool. So did you want to go over your tier perks or anything like that in the meantime?
Yeah, man, let's do that.
While people gather the thoughts and see if they want to ask any more questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, so featured is our $20 book. This is the 48 page. It will be signed. So when you get this, you get the signed copy sent to you, but you also get a virtual high five from Macho Dan.
Yep. Every single person that backs gets a virtual high five.
Our lowest tier is the $5 tier. Now, this is just saying, hey guys, we appreciate what you're doing, and here's $5 to help you along the way. And for that, you don't go away empty-handed like you do in some of these IndieGoGos. You actually get a virtual high five from Dan, and Dan will be very creative in his macho way, and he will find a interesting and unique way to give you a virtual video high five that he will send to your Twitter or your Facebook or your Instagram, whichever the case may be.
Actually, that's pretty cool, and it's a nice little marketing strategy.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like a lot of people, they just they don't necessarily want to get all the way into a project. They don't necessarily care for the project, or maybe they don't. They're just, they want to help out, but they don't want to go all in. They get a little bit of recognition, even for that $5.
Nice. So, before we go on to the next tier, Chad Middleton with the question: will there be an evil version of Hero? Will there be an anti-hero?
That is a great question.
Anti-hero that's great, actually.
Yeah, we call it something different. It's actually called the Crow Unit.
Okay.
And it is basically from, if you go back to the Zero issue, this little project here that didn't work out.
Right. The first one. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Somehow or another, you'll have to find out how, but somehow it becomes the evil version that you're asking about.
Yeah. And I think we have a pretty cool way to explain how this happens, but without giving a ton away, and you learn about this in the book because the Dr. Crouppen actually literally says it, but the way Hero is different from this CRO unit is that it taps into the brain in different ways. In the CRO unit, basically, and I don't know if Jason may have already said this, but it basically is fueled on rage. Like, it taps into the rage centers of the brain. And I literally, so I'm not going to dox myself. Anyway, I've basically done a lot of research on brain activity and parts of the brain and what parts of the brain do what. So there's some real science in this too. I've had to learn a lot of strange stuff to write this book, but yeah, it's pretty neat how it happens and how the Hero unit adapts the body and the brain versus how the Crow unit does it. And we're going to explore that too in the book. There's a lot of stuff we got to pump into this thing, so it's going to be action packed, and it's going to be full of weird science and technology.
Awesome. Yeah. So the second perk is going to be the answer to the next question that Chad Middleton has. Is there available in digital? And I believe that you have an $8 digital perk.
Yep.
That's right. We landed on $8 by talking to a lot of people. People felt like $15 for a digital that some people are charging, or $10 was too much. We heard a lot of that feedback. We felt that for all the work that's going to go into this, that people, we wanted to make sure that they got a high quality and everything like that. So we didn't want to give the digital away for too little. So we landed at $8, and I feel like that's a pretty fair price for a 48-page digital. And it's going to be, easy PDF format, so anybody can download it once once it's finished.
Nice. And so does that also come with a digital high five, or is that just that $5 perk?
No, man, right here you can see it. Every one of these perks,
virtual high five, everything.
Man. So everybody is gonna get a Macho Dan digital high. This to me is gonna be the funnest part of the campaign. I think. I cannot wait to see what you come up with. All right, moving on to your next perk. Sir, go ahead.
Oh, we talked a lot about the digital high five, and there's already some real. I don't want to spoil anything. There's some fantastic ideas on the table, and I'm with you. I can't wait to see it either.
I bought a book the other day. You know, like the dollar spot at Target. I bought a book to write down my digital high five ideas because I'm worried that if I get 500 backers, I'm gonna have to come up with 500 some more digital high fives to give people, and I just don't know. Some of them are gonna be better than others. It's just how it's gonna have to be, but I'm gonna have to come up with that stuff.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. I think that's gonna be fun. I believe that if nothing else, that's gonna be the fun gimmick. You know, like the little gimmick that makes it fun.
Sure, I think so. I hope so. Yeah.
So you have your next tier, I believe, is a $35 Hero Blood of Patriots 2-pack.
That's right. You get the 2-pack, and you save a little money if you buy 2. And of course, if you buy 2, you get the same price on shipping. So that's a good value.
Nice.
In our shipping, I think generally we landed at $10. We'll cover just about anywhere in the continental United States, and then for international, it's up to $15. But we're not going to charge, more than $15 for international, even for those that are more. We're hoping to make up the difference for some of the internet. When we've already got some international orders on there, so we're trying to figure out the best way to do that, and just kind of offsetting that cost with $15 should help us get where we need to get, and not break the bank on shipping for this project.
Yeah, right. The important thing was to get the book out. So, if we're eating a little bit of that cost, it's fine, as long as we don't eat it all and then we're stuck paying money. Right. But I think we've got it pretty dialed in where we're going to be able to cover it. And like I said, the important thing to us was to get the book out. Right. So it was fine to, take a little bit of a hit on the shipping.
So you got the, the next one is a $55 Hero Support the Real Heroes. Talk to me about that one.
Yeah, this one is one of my favorites for obvious reasons. If you buy one here for this perk, you buy one and then you send 2 to the real heroes in the armed forces. So basically, we've got a few contacts where we have learned how to sort of benefit people that are serving, that are into comics, and we can send comic packages, care packages to them. And so if you invest in this one, you will be getting your copy, and it'll be a signed copy, but you'll be sending 2 copies to our brave men and women.
Nice. Go ahead.
Well, we're proud of this one, and this is the one we hope really blows up, because I really want a lot of military people to see this book and to see how we treat heroism and service to your country, and I hope that they're proud of it, and I hope that it makes them proud.
And every time I see this tier on any of the IndieGoGo campaigns, I'm really happy. I was in the Army at one time, so I like it. It really touches me in my heart.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you for your service, Jimmy. I always say that anytime I meet somebody new that served. I have not served, and that makes me appreciate you guys all the more.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely.
Yeah, so definitely that probably be the perk that I go with. I did that with anybody that has done that perk in IndieGoGo. If I bought their book and they had this perk, that's the perk that I've done. I like it. It does, like I said, it humbles me to no end to see when people want to give back to those that could possibly give all.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
And you know what else? We're going to the goal, our scheduled goal, is that we are going to start fulfillment on Memorial Day.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going to basically we're going to have a big Memorial Day party, and we're going to get the families together, and we're going to be packing up.
What? No. Sorry.
Hello.
There you are.
Did you lose me or what?
Maybe you lost me. That might have been it.
we're gonna pack these things up, and we're gonna start shipping them the day after Memorial Day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool of you. And then the next one down, sir.
Yeah, so this one, we've already got one on this one. This was I thought a pretty cool one. It's get your name on one of Volk's blades. Dan, why don't you jump in and explain this one?
Yeah, so Volk is kind of our big bad villain. He is he's a very damaged Russian individual. There's a cool video actually on our IndieGoGo page where I explain why he's so damaged. So go check that out. But one of the things Volk loves to do is kill, and his favorite tool in killing is a blade. So all kinds of blades. He has a collection of these things, and whenever Volk ends a life, if he ends a life with a blade, it's like his memento. So when he kills someone, he saves it. So on this particular perk, if you choose that one, your name will be on one of his. There's going to be, I think Jason was talking about doing a splash page where it's just his big wall. And there's going to be your name on one of those blades. Your life was ended by Volk, and you were important enough to go on the wall with this blade. So I don't know, we thought it would be a cool way, because when people invest, a little Easter egg is really important. Like that, us as comics fans, watching movies, like we always watch for the Easter eggs. And so this is like a very personal in for people to get, and we wanted to make it, I mean, it's some work for Jason to do that kind of stuff. So we thought that price is a good price for that perk, and you automatically get a virtual high five. So it's a pretty dang good value. But yeah, that's kind of where the idea came from. Just to have people have a little personal spot in that book and have it done in a cool way.
So let me ask you something. Now that we're mentioning the virtual high fives, are the virtual high fives going to differentiate based on the perk level the person gets? Like,
I don't know.
Like you might want to do a virtual high five with one of these blades for the $75 backers, to make it a little bit more interesting. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Don't pay attention to me. It's your book.
No, absolutely. But that's something that I have thought about, and I don't want the people, if somebody gives me $5 for a high five, I want it to be good.
Right.
And if somebody, if somebody that throws down for that $800 be the villain one, I'm going to do something crazy. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be crazy. So yeah, there'll probably be some variation, but so one of those lower tier ones, I might just do some ridiculous stunt just because I want to thank those guys as much as I do thank the people that spend a lot of money. But they'll. So yes and no. I don't know. I'm making this stuff up as I go along, man. I was
just playing devil's advocate, just throwing something out
there.
No,
it's great.
To see if it's stuck to the wall.
You asked me.
Maybe what we do, Dan, is we do a double high five for the bigger tiers.
Sure, yeah.
You're on the $5 high five level until maybe you get to like you're in the book.
What do you guys think in the chat?
Sure.
Y'all want to throw some ideas while we continue to discuss this?
Oh yeah, come on. The chat's got to have some ideas.
Right. And so we're moving on to the $300 perk, I see.
Yeah. So this is my personal favorite. And it's basically you get knocked out by Hero.
Nice.
So as you can see up here in this, Hero does a lot of damage to a lot of people. But this particular guy up here with his tooth getting knocked out was fun to draw.
Right.
And so we thought about the fact that you could put somebody's face on there. So this could be somebody, whoever gets in. We got 5 opportunities here.
Right.
You can get in the book. You will be a person that goes toe to toe with Hero, and you will get knocked straight out.
That's awesome.
You will get one punch knocked out, and your face will look kind of like this.
Yeah, I call that the narcissist package, where you're just narcissistic enough to put yourself in the book. I've done it on Donald DeLay's.
Did you go in?
That's awesome, man.
Are you in the book?
He hasn't gotten back to me on. I don't know if he's far enough in it to ask for my likeness, but yeah, I went ahead and backed that because I thought Brutus is just gonna be like a phenomenally fun book.
It all looks so good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, it was cheap enough to go in on it, and I was like, but then all these other Indiegogo started popping up, and I was like, But anyway, I digress. I digress. So then we get the next tier coming up.
The next one is called Brutal Death. And Brutal Death is just like the Knockout, except you will die. So basically, this gives you probably, rather than one panel, or maybe two, this would probably be more like a few panels, because Hero will struggle with you in battle, but ultimately he will deliver a phenomenal death upon you. so you get to be in the book. You get to be in the book. There's only 3 of these. You can be in the book, but your likeness will be captured, and you will be absolutely decimated by Hero.
So we're gonna call this the Faces of Death perk.
Yeah. So 3 people are going to just get annihilated, and we'll probably put we'll put a name tag on them somehow, so it's clear who they are, and we'll do their likeness, and we'll make sure that they're recognizable as the person who's getting destroyed.
Awesome. And do we have one more perk, right?
We do. We have the big one. Dan, why don't you talk about this one?
Yeah, last one. Be the villain. So it basically, that's it. You're not going to be Volk. He's kind of the big bad, but you're going to be like boss level, is what Jason said last night, and I think it's a good way to describe it. So at the end of Super Mario Brothers 3, and you get there and you have to fight the Koopa in the little dungeon every single board, like that's who you're going to be. You're going to be the Koopa, and you gotta it's going to be a fight scene. It's going to, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but like, it's going to be multiple panels. It's going to be a big fight. And you're going to be a villain that will reoccur somewhat until Hero finally kills you. And we've graciously thrown in a brutal death, along with you being a villain, a boss level villain. So
not only that, you'll get a high five after you die.
High five, you're right, man. And so you get to be the villain, you get to die a brutal death, and you get a high five.
And you get that high five. Look, people don't underestimate the power of Macho Dan's high five. Okay,
that's right.
You all are not. Don't sleep on it. Please do not sleep on it. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm. Once again, I'm always looking for inspiration for high fives, because I'm worried. I'm sweating, man. That I'm gonna get stuck with 500 people, and I'm gonna have to throw down high fives every single time. But if that happens, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it right. I'm not going to lay down on this thing. So, yeah.
No, that's hilarious, man. I'm actually looking forward to that now. Like I want to see the virtual high fives popping up on Twitter and popping up.
I know. I'm excited Instagram. To see like what people do when they actually get them. And some people probably won't care, but I hope that there's like I hope that there's a hashtag for Macho Dan's virtual high five or something like that.
I hope so too, man, because it's gonna be ridiculously funny. And I think that that you may once you've sent them out, maybe give it a day or two, and then make a compilation of them and post them on your YouTube.
That's a fantastic idea.
Write that down.
That's a fantastic idea.
So, but of course, give them a chance to get the virtual high five first and whatnot, right? Yeah, but then have a compilation like this high five goes out to this person, and and just have however long it takes you to go through all the high fives with a little caption underneath for which each high five, and then at the end, like a thank you for back in Hero or whatever.
That's pretty incredible. Awesome. That's an incredible idea. I love that.
That would be pretty awesome, and I think it would be hilarious, because I think that would also get a lot of replay value.
Absolutely, we will absolutely do that. That's easy done. Great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, man, I'm here to help, man. How many times I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm here to help, man. We're practically neighbors. Uh, yeah, so that's amazing. The perks are good. I like the digital copy is not is very affordable actually.
Yeah, yeah.
But one of the things that I do like is the book going to be signed by the whole team, or is it just going to be signed
Yep.
by like the main creator, or what's the deal on that?
It's gonna be
Yeah.
both of us, yeah.
Right, right. Yeah, we're co-creators. So when we're sitting down for our barbecue on Memorial Day, we're going to be signing, we're going to be passing books around and signing these things.
Yeah.
All right, now I need you to use actual signatures and not get no stamps from
Nah,
Home Depot, Office Depot, or whatever. Like
legit.
stamp.
Oh man, I've been waiting my whole life to sign a comic book. So you better
Right, yeah.
believe I am going to do it with my signature, and it's going to be big. It's going to be with the silver ink.
Right.
I'm going to do a Rob Liefeld style.
Oh man, you're going all out, huh?
Like
Yeah,
we're gonna at the time I told Jason, I was like, at the time we're gonna be complaining about it when we're
Right.
actually doing it, but we have both waited our lives to be able to do this. Like it's gonna be awesome. You know, I mean, creating the book, but this is the icing on the cake. Being able to sign your legitimate physical book you got. That's awesome.
You know, and that's one thing that I like about interviewing people like you guys that have, this is your life's work, your dream, and you've been working so hard to reach it, and you see that it's finally happening, and you hear the excitement and the the bubbliness and the joy behind everything, man. And it is always great vibe and a great energy, And another reason why I like having people like you on, it's kind of selfish, but another reason I like having people like you on is because my channel is about my journey of eventually creating my own book, but I just want to show people that if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And then like here's people that did it. They put their mind to it and they did it. They co-created it. They supported each other. They got it done. So it's not a goal that cannot be attained or achieved. And when we have people like you guys on, I think it helps other people to realize, hey, this is an achievable dream, And of course, that's all subjective, but and that's one of the reasons why I like having people like you guys on, and giving you space and time. And as long, like I was telling Mutt-Man, or Mutt, like I give you as much time as you want to talk about it, and allow y'all to expound and be as excited as y'all want to be, because
that's cool, man. Yeah.
It's a community. And I was telling Mutt-Man earlier that that if we don't help each other, even if a little channel like mine, is available to help, that's good. And it also speaks volumes about you guys, that you want to grind hard to get your book out, that you'll go on as many channels as possible to talk about it, shout it from the virtual rooftops and whatnot. And that's right. Good. That's good. You got a Captain America shield back there?
Yeah, man. Right there. That's so for Halloween a couple years ago, my daughter wanted to be American Dream, right? The girl, like girl version, I guess, of Captain America.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm going to do something Captain America. And so I decided to do World War II cap. Right. And I made it. I made that shield and it just looks awesome. So it's battle damage and stuff like that. So
no, that is pretty cool. I thought you bought it, but I didn't know you made it.
No, man, made that thing up in the man cave. Yeah.
Yeah, you got American flags for cushion, for throw pillows, and the whole work.
Some American flags right there. I'm not afraid. I'm gonna support that. That's like my wife, when she finds American flag stuff or like patriotic stuff, like she gets it for me. I have Captain America. You can't see it. It's kind of a mess here. I just
right.
But I have Captain America stuff over there. I have like some there's a cap shield up above there's like a TV and a shelf right here. And I got my whole nerd cave down here. So yeah.
Well,
gotta support.
So I'm going to ask you some questions that most people like to hear about. Like who are your inspirations, as far as writers, creators, artists, comic books, the whole works?
Cool. Jay, you go first.
Well, for me, the top of mind, always my answer, the most obvious one, is Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby is my hero, my all-time inspiration. He was far and above the most the most dynamic creator that comic books has ever seen. I don't think anyone will ever touch him. There's been some great creators over the years, but in my opinion, Kirby is the greatest. So even his ability to write a story, he was kind of a force of nature in that way. So he was an artist, but he wrote, but his art and his writing would just kind of force together to create this movement that would happen through a story. No one created monsters like him. No one created action like him. And the other thing that's very inspirational for me personally is that Jack Kirby got started later in life. I mean, he was a cartoonist his whole life, but he was kind of doing the grind kind of thing. But then he decided that, he wanted to break out and take a chance with Timely Comics / Marvel at the time. And that's when his career kind of like blew up. And so, he was 40. I think he was 44 when he did the first Fantastic Four book. And so he's a very much an inspirational person for me.
Right. What about you?
Yeah, man, for art, Kirby's way up there for me too. I kind of got into Kirby later in life. I feel like later than I probably should have. But Jason's the one that like really kind of fed me Kirby art, a steady diet of that, and got me to appreciate it. And so it's one of the things I collect when I can, especially when we go to cons and dig in dollar bins. If I find a Kirby, I pretty much buy it if it's a double or not. But then it's like art, McFarlane. I'm a kid of the 90s, man. Like that was the time where I was starting my collection. So McFarlane's a huge one. As much as it probably pains Jason to hear it, I really like. I'm not crazy about Liefeld now, but I have a lot of Liefeld in my collection. If you go to more current artists, Drew Moss is he's done stuff for Marvel. He's done stuff for what's his imprint? It's IDW, I think. I think he's done Mask for another publication, but that guy's art is incredible, and he's probably I have a bunch of his art behind me. There's like a Galactus and a Cable that looks like a Rockwell painting, and then this one right here, I have Matthew Roberts. He's a cool artist. He does Manifest Destiny. I love that book too. And then as far as writers go, comic book writers, especially modern ones, I don't feel like have the same flair as some of the 90s stuff. So I get into a lot of those writers, but a lot of where I kind of get my inspiration for style and prose and flow and all that is I listen to a ton of books. Like I literally put in my earbuds and listen to audiobooks. Like I'll put two books down every couple of weeks. And so I find a lot of authors that I like, and the way they kind of put things down. It's not the same way as writing a comic book, but that's kind of usually how I started out. I like write it like a novel, and then I go back through it and kind of whittle it down till I get the story, and send revisions off to Jason a lot of times for him to give me feedback and stuff. So yeah, it's hard to pick a writer that I really like in comics. It's kind of funky right now with the way kind of Marvel and DC are. I don't think there's a whole lot of great writers at this time period. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I definitely understand that. I mean, it could have been any writer, book wise or anything.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who I really love. There's Joe Abercrombie is a awesome writer, fantasy writer that's incredible. And Dennis E. Taylor's really good for sci-fi stuff. So those guys are big ones for me that I really enjoy.
Nice. Well, gentlemen, I have kept you here for an hour, hostage in this virtual room.
No, man, I'm telling you, this is a blast. I had a great time.
No, I'm glad y'all did, man. I try. I tell people when they come on my channel, I mean, it's a small channel, but I'm really super laid back. I just like to have fun, talk about comics, talk about art. I give you guys a chance to really talk about your book in depth, and allow you guys to just exude that enthusiasm. I feel like if the customer can connect with you guys and really see that enthusiasm, that it helps them, to be enthusiastic about backing the project.
Yeah.
I hope that that this small meager channel was of some service to you guys, and hopefully y'all get some backing.
Dude, I had a blast no matter what. Like I love doing this stuff. I love talking to people. I love meeting people. So it's been just fun getting on and talking with you about the project. And it's really cool that you even, want us to come on and speak with you. So it's been awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Are you kidding me? Look, I love comics just as much as the next man. And anytime I can talk to anybody that's in the mix, I call it a learning experience. I think you can learn from everybody. I think, watching the different art styles that the different ComicsGate artists or independent artists, whichever way you wanna go. To me, it's just all independent artists, but that's semantics. Some people are really like, I am a ComicsGate, or I'm just an indie. But at the end of the day, everybody in this community is an independent artist.
Yeah.
There is no ComicsGate an insignia or whatever stamp on the comic books that come out. But the movement, the pure movement, it's not a bad movement. The idea of making apolitical comics, or comics without hard political overtures that'll take away your escapism.
Yep.
I like that. So that's why I'm here. I want to see independent comics that harken back, to those days where, politics are always in comics in one way, shape, or another. Even when you guys with the war between Russia and America, that's semi-political, but it's not the main focus. It's like a backdrop, and I don't, and that's something that I don't mind, because that's always been, politics has always been a backdrop. But it hasn't been the main character. And I think that today's comics in Marvel and DC, mostly Marvel, I think, more so than DC, they make it the main focus of the story, and that's where I think they get it wrong, and hopefully, and everything goes in cycles. Who knows how long that'll last,
I think it's my personal opinion on that is it's more of a marketing thing than anything. They're being influenced more by the drive to pick up younger readers, and I think they're making a business mistake, especially when you look at the whole country and the whole world. They're making a business mistake by focusing on those particular issues because they believe that they're issues that young people will sort of like, follow after, and they'll spend their money on that kind of stuff. Right. And I'm sure some do, but for me, it's like a comic book. The whole point of a comic book is for it to be fun. It's got to be a few minutes to escape the reality around you. And so if your comic has a lot of your real world in it, what good is it? Just turn the news on, if that's what you want to do.
Indeed.
Get depressed.
So like when in our setting of war, one thing that war does is it kind of takes away the divisions of politics in a country and unites people against a common foe. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to kill the American politics in our story by having a major crisis that we have to figure out.
Right. Yeah, now I understand completely. So I'm Puerto Rican, in case you haven't figured it out yet. And Puerto Ricans are really, really, really proud of their flag. And that comes from the fact that there was a time that waving the Puerto Rican flag would get you arrested, because the federal government, the American federal government, was not having it. They were like, no, your territory, you don't deserve your own flag. You wave your own flag, you're going to be arrested, persecuted, put in jail, or whatever. That's one of the reasons why you see a lot of Puerto Ricans still waving their flags to this day. It's something that we haven't forgotten, that there was a time where we couldn't even wave our own flag,
Right.
I say that to say this, whenever like 9/11 hit, and the American people finally banded together and started, carrying the flag around and being kind to one another. That was like one of the even though that was a very bad time, but to see how people rallied together was also a good thing. I don't know if that makes sense, because I look at the positive and everything. So there was a lot of loss of life, and yes, a war happened, and but then at that token, the American people actually banded together, which is what I think the same concept of your book. So I'm just putting a real world scenario to what your book is trying to do.
You're dead on right about that. Like, absolutely right about it. And we have forgotten that. Like, this country has totally like lost the plot, and they have forgotten what that feeling is to be united as one people. Like that is true as a real fact right now. But and that's kind of like I mean, that's exactly something that Jason said. I think he said that last night, is that this book is hopefully going to make people have that feeling of uniting together, like when end of Independence Day, you know, like like that's like that movie, as cheesy as it is, like America came together against the aliens, and they freaking won against like the odds, right? And it was like everybody cheered, and Randy Quaid is like drunk in his F-15, and it was like the greatest feeling, right? And that's the feeling we want to give you, that drunk Randy Quaid flying an F-15 feeling with this book. All right.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, I absolutely get it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, I remember what you're talking about, and during that time, it was a, you know, a lot of people just kind of got. It was like you got snapped out of your sort of daydream into reality.
Yeah.
You know, like when that happened, we realized as a people that, you know, we're vulnerable and we can be attacked, and that put us in a situation where we're like, okay, what do we need to do about this? And it was a very united feeling. And as we've gotten away from that, like Dan's saying, like now it's turned into this sort of hatred for each other, you know. And look, I've got my own political bend, and I'm opposed to a lot of things that other people are for. But at the end of the day, I can sit down with anybody and have a civil discussion, and I can walk away from a disagreement still loving that person.
Yeah, that's what we're missing.
Yeah, we got to get back to that where, you know, like let's discuss and talk about the reasons. But then, hey, if we disagree, it's okay. We're still Americans. We still have the greatest country on the face of the planet, and we still can be proud to be Americans together. You know, we can both wave our whether you're right or left, you can wave your flag with pride.
Right. You know, and the thing that people don't realize is how good we actually have it in this country.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you some quick one last quick story. I don't want to keep y'all all night.
Good, man.
No, so I was deployed in Afghanistan, and people think, you know, all y'all do is go over there and blow stuff up. But no, you know, we do other stuff when we're there. We do you know, missions to win the villagers over as well. You know, it's all about the psyops, and we go to villages. So we went to a village, and we were given a whole bunch of winter clothes that Americans donated and everything. It's a pretty cool experience, actually. So we go to this village, and these kids, and I'm talking about, it's wintertime. It's like 16 degrees out there, like snow on the ground, cold as can be. And these little Afghani kids are walking around barefoot like it's nothing. Like they're walking around barefoot like you and I would walk with Uggs boots on in the wintertime. Like they're not feeling a doggone thing, you know. And you know, we're giving these kids shoes. I don't know if we're making them softer or if we're actually helping them out, because those kids are pretty hard.
Yeah,
you know, because I couldn't walk around with no shoes in the wintertime. So we go and we're giving them coats and we're giving them shoes. You know, we're building relations. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, I've never had to walk barefoot in the snow anywhere. You know, because I didn't have shoes, or because I was lacking a coat or anything like that. You know, and then I returned back to the U.S. and I'm like, whoa, yeah, we don't have it so bad. We just got to learn how to be a little bit, tougher like them. It's kind of like reminds me of Demolition Man. You get a little bit clean, you get a little bit dirty, and we'll figure it out in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that?
That's a fantastic movie. I love that movie. That's awesome.
So
see that leads me to another point about, because you mentioned Demolition Man, and I love that movie too. That I probably saw that movie like, I don't know why, because looking back,
just out, man.
I've probably seen that movie like seriously like 20 times. That and Big Trouble in Little China like 20 times.
That's a classic. I took my son, I bought the DVD and showed it to my son because I wanted to pass a little something classic to him.
Yeah.
That dude fell in love with that movie.
That's a great movie.
That's the vibe, man, that we're going for in this book.
Yeah.
Those two movies are a good example of the vibe, where it's all out action, but man, there's a little, you got to have humor right along with it. Like there's crazy creatures, there's monsters, there's death dealing, right? But the core of it, the through line is we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That is amazing, man. This goes to prove, right, that no matter how different you think you are, you can always find common ground with people you don't even know. We just met today,
man. Absolutely.
We just met today. We've never talked before this. Maybe chatting on chats or whatnot. Mutt-Man and I think talked on a chat on somebody's stream and made this happen for him and you. You know, he was like, "Hey, I asked him, hey, you want to come on?" He said, "Hey, yeah." I said, "All right." He said, wait till lunch. I said, "All right, no problem." I was like, "I'll wait for your lunch date. There's no worries for me."
Yeah.
And and it's amazing how you can.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, I was
just gonna say it's amazing. Go ahead. I'm gonna be quiet now, for real.
No. You're right on. And I was telling Dan, I forget who we were talking to, but we were talking about the community, this ComicsGate community, and a lot of the people that we met, and it really is starting to become the silliest thing for people to say ComicsGate is a hate group, because honestly, and I know there's going to be some bad apples in every bunch, but man, we haven't met one person where we didn't get along and have some fun, and just people just loving comics, love making comics, and love pop culture. I mean, that's really what it all is.
And not only that, like, not only just meeting people that are fun and they're cool people, but they genuinely seem to care or genuinely do want to help you, like offer to help you in ways, Yeah,
they want to see you do well and succeed.
Right.
Man, I mean, I can't imagine what some of these people would feel like if they actually got into one of these chats and started having real conversations. They'd probably feel so stupid for spreading all those lies about all these people. It's really sad.
But the funny thing is, these videos are open to everybody. Anybody on Google, on YouTube, and Google can Google hero, or I put the hashtag ComicsGate on. If the person says they're full on ComicsGate, I put the hashtag ComicsGate on the video. So if anybody's looking for ComicsGate's comics and they do they search YouTube for ComicsGate, the video will pop up. And if they sit down and listen, they'll be amazed, and so that's, like I said, I try to do as much as I can so this video gets seen by as many eyes so I can help you guys out. But like I said, look, y'all are in Virginia, I'm in North Carolina. That's a rivalry already, but we sat down. But we sat down, we talked, we chopped it up, however you want to say it. And we talked and we had a great time. We talked about books, talked about, Jack Kirby. We talked about Hero. We talked about, trying to band the people together behind a common enemy to get that feeling, of unity that people seem to have lost. I mean, and we had a great time,
Yeah.
And the chat had a good time, I think, as well. And
we're gonna meet you at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be at a con or something, but I'd love to shake your hand there.
Oh yeah, well, hopefully it might be at a con.
Yeah.
Like when y'all get yourself together, let me know, man. I'm always willing to do. I do the cons here in North Carolina.
Okay. I'm going to give you a literal high five. Like, I'm going to come up to you IRL, and I'm going to jump up in the air and right like that.
And Mutt-Man's going to be recording it. And it's
like, all right, you know the Superman Batman on our perk level, that image of Superman Batman, that's going to be me and you, man.
That's going to be awesome, man. Look, anytime y'all want to come on, it's more than welcome. Cool. And it's gonna be great. Now, I hate to cut y'all off, man, because I'm having a good time. Y'all can follow me over to Josh's stream if you want to. My dear friend Josh. We're supposed to start joining at around 10 o'clock. It's 10:15. He's on his channel right now. It's okay.
There, what's the link? Are you gonna have it out on your Twitter?
I'll tell you what. I'll send you the link so y'all could join on the live stream as well. And we could finish this conversation over there if y'all don't mind.
If they'll have us, maybe we'll jump on there. I don't know. I'll talk to Jason. But thanks.
Yeah, let me go to his site real quick, and I'll put the link real quick. Josh doesn't mind. I think he's pretty cool and laid back. He's right now just inking doing a
what's it, Josh who or what's his
Josh. His name is Josh Chris Arts, and I was gonna put it on right there. And hold on one second, mates, and I'll put it right here into this little chat thing. And if you want, just go over there real quick. I'll let him know. As a matter of fact, let me text him real quick.
No, take your time, man.
And if I let me say what I'm texting so we don't have dead air.
You know what, too? I was going to say somebody else that I was going to give a shout out to my boy Doug Garrett on his Lone Wolf. He's like trying to fund this book tonight. And he has skinny ninjas doing shots for backers. And Doug just messaged me and said he's already hammer drunk.
Wow. You know what? Josh is excited. He wants y'all to come over. I will send y'all on Twitter the Hangouts link because I want to put it in here. You give me 1 second and I'll get y'all set up. So with that, do y'all got any last words that y'all want to say to the fans of the audience?
Man, thanks. Man. Whoever was watching, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and go back hero, man. Go out there and do it, because it's going to be the best book you've ever bought in your life. 48 pages of action-packed adventure, sci-fi. It's going to be amazing.
And high fives.
Dude, you get a high five. Come on.
All right, let him go, man. Let him go. Let's go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight and joining the team of Hero Comics, Mr. Macho Dan and Mutt-Man. I want y'all to, if you can, spread the word, back the book if it's within your desires. I want y'all to also have a wonderfully blessed evening, and I will talk to y'all next time.
Yep. See you guys.
Peace.